there you have it, man. We are out of the Champions League. Liverpool crash out of the Champions League. PSG progresses through to the semi-finals of the Champions League with a 2-0 win in the first leg and a 2-0 win in the second leg. Both home and away, they dumped on us. And for a manager that is a fan of PSG, a D-rider, someone that can't stop talking about them, I thought he would have had it pretty prepared for the second time he's going to face up against them in 2 legs. Instead, he had no answers for them. No answers for them at all. And the senior players, I thought some of them stepped up, but the new signings, I needed much more. I needed much more because these are the games that money is well spent. These are the games. PSG today, as we saw, individual qualities matters in the Champions League. It gets you far in the Champions League and it helps you win trophies. And it was very evident today. Obviously, before the game started, the likes of Salah was on the bench. Bold call from Arne Slot. Bold call. You can tell that it's personal. Don't get it twisted. Salah's going outside. His last ever Champions League game for Liverpool. He started on the bench. And he went with Wirtz, Ekatike and Isak. The 3 big signers of this season. With Gravenberch and McAllister in the midfield. For me, Curtis Jones should have started that game. Curtis Jones should have started that game because McAllister, the less I say about him, the better. And Gravenberch, since the turn of the year, has been abysmal to say the least. Whilst PSG rocked up with the same team that dismantled us in the first leg. And it was very evident. We was hearing about comeback this, comeback that. They need the fans to provide us with energy and stuff like that. The fans did their part. Don't get it twisted. The fans did their part. But in that first half specifically, let me see if I can get the stats from the first half, because I'm not going to lie to you. The first half, it didn't look like a team that was trying to make a comeback. It looked times that we won the ball back in dangerous areas, and then all of a sudden the loose touch or the passes was overhit, underhit, and PSG got back on the ball. And the midfield battle, they dominated the midfield battle in the first half. They had more promising opportunities than us. Obviously, Ekatike, I'm going to talk about him in a minute, because that was a terrible injury. Terrible injury. Feel bad for him. Really do. The only big chance that we had was an amazing tackle from Marquinhos when Van Dijk looked a certainty to score the goal. A certainty. And obviously, amazing goal line tackle. But apart from that, did he really cut through them? No. Did he really generate that much chances? No. Isak started, and Isak was non-existent today. But he never got the ball near enough for a player of his caliber, and he never got the chances. And also, he did look, you can see that he was coming back from a long layoff. You can see that he was. But he's not the only one. Florian Wirtz didn't do enough in the first half. Salah was on the bench, and Salah came on just under 25 minutes because Ekatike destroyed his Achilles. It was a non-contact injury as well. And if you saw the picture, it's not for good viewing. It's not for good viewing at all. His World Cup is surely over. His season's over. And what I'm hearing is that he could be out for an entire year. Because you see Achilles ruptured tendon. They're the worst injuries you can get in football. The worst injuries you can get in football. It can change your style of play. It can change the way you move, your agility, and Ekatike has suffered that. Such a cruel way to end the season, man. Wish him the speediest of recoveries, and hopefully, mentally, he's okay. And when he come back, we will be waiting for him. So yeah, the first half, like I said, overall, wasn't good enough. Nowhere near good enough. The fans was trying to get the team up for it intensity-wise. There was no intensity, in my opinion. The passes was off. The touches was off. Shooting wasn't there. Like, it was very sluggish. It didn't look like a team that was trying to mount a comeback. And PSG, that was comfortable in the first half. And then obviously team talk happens in the first half, and then the second half tends to happen, innit? And it did happen today. And I'm not gonna lie to you, in the second half, we actually came out fighting. We genuinely came out fighting in the second half. Like, we were getting, the stats says it there. Like, we was, up until Dembele scored that dagger goal, we was winning the ball back. PSG stopped playing. It was one team in the half. It was one team in the second half. Obviously, Salah was getting much of the ball, trying to create something. Obviously, he found Florian Wirtz, but Florian Wirtz didn't want to shoot. He found Kirkes, but Kirkes was in position right to have the shot. Obviously, Salah had a bit of loose touches and poor passes, but I'm not going to lie, he was our best attacker on the pitch by an absolute mile today, in my opinion. And it's his last ever Champions League game. He can go home with his head held high because he tried to make things happen. He tried to get us within touching distance of extra time, and it didn't materialize. He was winning the ball back in dangerous areas, was defending well. Like, Real England came on, injected that energy that was feeding in that second half. But Dembele showed what was missing in that second half. Individual quality in the final third. And with the players that we brought in over the summer, for moments like this, for games like this, when they can showcase their individual brilliance, they didn't do that today. I'm not going to mention any names, but they didn't do that today. Didn't do that today at all. Gakpo came on. I don't think his cameo was that bad, to be honest. His cameo wasn't as bad as what people are making out, but it wasn't great. And obviously Dembele, obviously PSG had that was their first shot on target, their first shot in the second half. Bang, 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 bang. Left foot, whipped it. Mamadashvili once again beaten in his first attempt, and that was the game. That was the game that was over, and PSG was coasting through it, and then Dembele went on to seal the win to progress them to the semi-finals of the Champions League. What am I supposed to say now? Obviously, PSG, you know, they're looking to like become only the second team in Champions League since the reincarnation of the Champions League to go back to back. Because obviously Real Madrid done 3 in a row, and they're in a very good position to do that. That semi-final against Bayern is going to be something if Bayern can get past Madrid, which I will do a preview, so stay tuned for that if it does happen, or if it tends to happen. But as for Liverpool, for how much we spent, obviously we sold players for how much we spent, the promise we had this season to go even better than what we did last year when we won the Premier League for the second time and the English League title for the 20th time. We thought this could be an era of dominance. Obviously, they're trying to spin it nowadays that is a transitional season, but no one was saying that at the start of the season, and it didn't look like it was a transition at the start of the season. It looked like a team that wanted to go back-to-back in the league, go far in the Champions League, and make a serious statement to challenge the likes of PSG, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, which we'll talk about them in a minute because they're out of the Champions League, the likes of Arsenal in the Champions League. And it's been an absolute disaster of a season. Disaster of the season. We're trophyless. Obviously, we could get Champions League football given the way teams are playing in the Premier League, but the writing's on the wall for the manager. The writing is on the wall. Obviously, some of these players, they need to, bro, hold your head in shame. Hold your head in shame, because some of these players have been pulling up absolute stinkers of a season. A half a season of a stinker. Not really providing match-winning quality, individual quality. The manager doesn't look like he knows what he's doing. Yeah, man, we're out of the Champions League. It sucks. It sucks so much. Trophyless. Yeah, man, what can I say? Szoboszlai held your head up high. Van Dijk obviously did well. Konate, you know, like the players that could go on their head held high in my opinion. Kirkes can, obviously a couple of misplaced passes. Jeremy Frimpong, I don't think he's good enough for Liverpool. In my opinion. But I'm just gonna leave it as that. And yeah, man, get well soon, Hugo Ekitike. Congratulations to PSG. Before I round this up, let's look at the standout players for today's match, because Marquinhos put on a real captain's display today. Like, that is a leader performance. And for someone that is known to be error prone, especially in these days of tournaments, he wasn't error prone today. He definitely wasn't. So, yeah. Obviously, they gave Van Dijk 6.6, which I think is wrong, because I feel he held his own. But yeah, man. You see, Neves and Vitinha, that was obviously in the second half, they were already coasting, but in the first half they had it was like a walk in the park. It was almost like one of them was wearing Crocs and one of them was wearing sliders, because it was too easy for them. Obviously, Pacho, one of the best defenders in the world. Dembele, Ballon d'Or, like, form is showing right now. You understand? Ballon d'Or is showing right now. As for us, yeah, man, toothless, absolutely toothless. So let's just end this season. This season can't end soon enough. Get top 5 and look for a new manager over the summer, man. That's all I'm gonna say. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and yeah, man, so disappointing, man. So